I'm on my way to Farm Service Office in Madison Parish, Louisiana. Actually, the National Resource Conservation Service Office is part of the Farm Service Office. One of my agents listed a real nice hunting tract over here in northeast Louisiana in Madison Parish. Madison Parish is a real strong part of our state for trophy whitetails. Real good hunting property. Anyway, this particular tract is in the WRP program. A lot of you probably know it, but if you don't, WRP stands for Wetlands Reserve Program, and it's one of the many programs offered by the United States Department of Agriculture for subpar farmland, inferior farmland, and this particular piece of property was put in the WRP program to convert it back into a natural wetlands and for wildlife habitat. These properties are a great way for landowners to convert inferior farmland back into wildlife habitat, receive a pretty good payment to do that, for an incentive to do that, and at the same time it creates great hunting properties if they're done properly and done in the right locations. This particular tract's in a great location, so we're looking forward to having it on the market. And there's going to be a lot of people interested in it. It's 400 odd acres, and the price going to make it, over $1 million property, which that's a lot of money for a, recreational tract. Discretionary. Somebody that's just got, over $1,200 or $1,000, over $1 million to put into a hunting tract. The air's pretty thin in that market, but there are guys looking for them every day. So anyway, I'm going to get some information on it from the NRCS office to make sure of a couple of things that are important for a WRP tract. Number one, is it a permanent easement or a 30-year easement? Most in our WRP tracts are perpetual or permanent easements, but every once in a while we get them that are 30-year easements. I've run into two in my time, and one of them just a couple of weeks ago. Another tract that I personally listed is a 30-year easement. So if people assume that it's a permanent easement without double checking, there's a chance that it's a shorter 30-year easement, which makes it a little better property in my opinion. Those permanent easements are there, I like to say, are there till Jesus comes. It's going to go in the easement. It's never going to be able to be taken out unless something happens where laws are changed in the future. But if something's in a 30-year easement, there's an end to the restrictive use of it. So people like those 30-year easements much better than the permanent easement. Anyway, I want to double check that. I want to get an as-built map of the tract that shows the property as it was completed in the WRP program. It'll show which portions of it were put in planted in trees, which portions of it were left as food plot areas, where the established roads and trails were made. It'll show where the water control structures are on the shallow water areas. That as-built map is a good piece of information to give to prospective buyers, to say, hey, here's what the tract here's how the tract is set up, and it gives you an idea of some nuances about, is the tract really going to work well for duck hunting? Is it really going to have good access, interior access? Are there enough food plots? Are there any acres left out of the WRP that a person could build a camp or be able to do things with that don't fall under the restrictive nature of the WRP? So having that as-built map is important in my opinion. I've got the exact acres that are in the WRP program on this particular tract. It was provided to me by the seller and the listing agent. Okay, but sometimes people start rounding off over the years, and suddenly when they say something is 420 acres, well, may only been 400 acres, and things have gotten rounded off or changed or misremembered over time. So I like to go get this information so that when we write up our listing details on a tract, we can put out the facts that are out there. There won't be any surprises later to a prospective buyer, and they know going forward what they're working with, and to see if they have interest and to see if it's going to be a deal that works for them. The thing I hate most, and it's happened to me, it's happened to everybody that's been in this business, is you get somebody moving along the buying process on a piece of property, and then you get right to the end, to closing or just prior to closing, and a piece of information pops up that nobody knew about or somebody assumed was different, and then it blows the whole deal. And there's just no reason for that when you can turn over a few stones in advance, get all of the relevant information on a piece of property, the real facts that make a difference to buyers, and go ahead and gather that on the front end, present all that to your prospective buyers, and they know exactly what they're getting. I know some of you watching have bought property or will buy property, and the last thing you want is some surprise at the end. I mean, you're counting on this tract, you've done work, due diligence to realize you want to buy it, you've made offers, you've gotten financing, you've made plans, and suddenly toward the end a piece of information pops up that's a deal breaker for you. I mean, how frustrating is that? So my job as a real estate broker, all of our real estate agents, all of our land agents, we try to work hard to gather all the information that's relevant to be able to communicate to buyers. There may be still some unknown landmines out there that we can't necessarily discover, but that's just the nature of the business. So, we do our best to try to get all the detailed information so that when we put it out there on our websites, when you look at it, you realize you can make a decision pretty much from the information on the website if it's something you're genuinely interested in, and if so, you can arrange to come see it and invest your time and energy to see if it's a deal that'll work for you. Anyway, I've got my signed release from the owner. You can't get information anymore from the Farm Service Agency or the NRCS office without that signed release. Just simply gives us the authority or the permission from the owner to go and get information on their property. So I've got that. I'm going as fast as I can to try to get there before they close at 4:30, and hopefully I'll get all this information gathered up and have everything I need. We'll have this property on the market real quick. The reason I'm going to get this is it's one of my new agents who listed this tract. He's also got a day job. He's a state wildlife biologist, and he's covered up right now, so I told him I could run and get this information for him, and it'll just help us get everything much quicker so we can get the property on the market faster, and hopefully get some of you folks to write us a big check and want to buy it. So take care. Talk to you later.